Great, so welcome back. My name is Brooks Dugan, and I am the Instructional Technology Specialist here at Simpson University. And today I would love to talk about utilizing forums within your coursework and your just your classroom setting. This is a great feature so that your students are still talking about subjects or even preparing for the next subject in class that you're going over. And it really, when it's used the right way, you can utilize it so that your students are being able to articulate their own thoughts and being able to work through concepts that you may not have all the time in your course or in classroom, or especially if this is online. This is a great environment to do so. So let's go ahead and start talking about it. And this is why I find this part of Moodle and the classroom very important, next to the assignments and the attendance, and of course submitting grades. This is where you can really cultivate and take your class to the next levels, are these forums. But students really are tricky and know how to work around certain guidelines that may not be well utilized in the forum setting, such as like just settings that you can make within Moodle, so that your students are for sure posting their own thoughts, and also that they're hitting the word counts that they need, and that they're not swayed by biased opinion by their classmates before they post the original thought. So let's talk about that. So let's go ahead and turn editing on. You'll go up to your gear up here, turn editing on, and let's go down to the week that we're in right now and add an activity. So again, you'll just add a forum post. This is always a good practice. Personally, if I was a student, and when I was a student, it really helped me to do a forum post every other week, at least. Every week is great because it helps the conversation outside of class to continue. And let's go ahead and just add that right there. So let's go ahead and name this forum as forum example. And within the description, I'm going to say this is a forum example, of course. Very descriptive, as always. Example. And then I'm also want to be very clear with my expectations for my students, so I'm going to go ahead and say, please submit one original post and 2 comments on your peers' posts. Yeah, I guess that would be an S apostrophe. So since I do want this displayed as a description on the course page, just so that my students definitely see it up front and know what I'm expecting out of them. Now, the most important part here is the forum type. Saved as draft. You'll go ahead and click on your standard forum for general use. I would go ahead for most, if not all, forums that you're wanting to create. I would go ahead and use Q&A forum. Now, this is the best environment so that you're interacting with, an idea of thought, or and people are responding to it. But the best part about this feature is that by default within the Moodle settings, students can't see other students' ideas until they submit their own. This is a default setting, and so you don't have to go in and click any other extra buttons. You just have to select Q&A forum. This is a very powerful feature so that you are ensured that your students are submitting an original thought, and at least for the most part, to an extent, at least just not swayed by other students' posts that are primarily there or previously there. So one thing though I would suggest, and this is why I am encouraging a lot of professors now, within this original post, to be uploading a YouTube video, which you can actually refer to as one of my other videos on how to submit a YouTube video. And that is a fantastic way of cultivating discussion and making it a little more personal, and being able to hear someone's tone, it brings a little more humanity into our classroom, especially amongst this world of tech. And it really ensures that it's their original thought, unless they're reading a script, which many students wouldn't necessarily do that. It really brings people out of their shells too. So usually between a 2 to 5 minute video, that usually ranges around your 200 to 500 word mark that you're hoping for in your original posts, depending on the class. And then it also is much more of a fun interaction from your students, so that they can do a written response to the video. It also engages different learning modes of learning, and a lot of students, it's a way of bringing in the new age of tech, even though it's a really simple process and pretty easy integration. So let's go ahead. This is gonna bother me here. I guess it is apostrophe S. Let's go there. All right. So now that that's clarified, let's go ahead and go to attachments and word count. So maximum number of attachments, this is completely up to you on how you want someone to be uploading their response or their initial thought. And so I would usually just have 0, just because, or sorry, 1 at least, just because you want them to submit at least one thought for their original idea. This is, of course, you could do, I would usually do somewhere over 5 megabytes. You shouldn't usually be getting a document that's more than 5 megabytes. That's just a forum post, but just as an idea. And this word count, display the word count, is also a very good utilization, so that it gets to engage to see for yourself how much they've actually posted. Great, so you can skip over the subscription and tracking. This is it's an optional feature, and this is more involving your students, but it's up to you. This sends a lot of emails, so I would use this with discretion, but it's an option. Discussion locking, you can always lock your discussion if you'd like after a certain amount of time of inactivity. So that's also up to you, so that if you ever do go back and you're like, oh, what did these students get a grade in, that would then, of course, could change if someone didn't turn it in on time. And then post threshold for blocking. Again, that's a little bit advanced. If you want to engage with that, that's great. And for grading, of course, it's up to you on what type of grade you want to give. For right now, I'm going to leave it uncategorized, because my main thing is I want students to be completing and just posting about it. And so we'll go down to activity completion, and I want to involve my students with, as I said up here before, this form is an example. Please submit 1 original post and 2 comments on your peers' posts. So I'm going to go ahead and set that. So students, the show activity as complete when the conditions are met. So we're going to go ahead, that goes ahead and activates those portions right here. And I'm going to make sure to require that they create 1 discussion, and also that it requires 2 replies. So I'm going to change that here, 2 replies, and it requires then 3 posts. So they must post discussions or replies. I'm going to say 3. So in general, they have to post 1 original thought and then 2 discussions. So I specified those right here, and then of course you can expect a due date when these will be completed. I'm going to go ahead and set it for tomorrow, just because I don't actually have any students, and as of there, I think that is what I'm looking for. So save and complete. Great, and so that will show for them, add a new question, or you can go ahead and add a question, and I'm going to switch my role to student so that you can see what it would be on their end. This question forum. In order to see others' responses to these questions, you must first post your answer. So there are no questions yet in this forum. So yeah, that is a great utilization. So you can go ahead and your student, as a student, I'll go, I have this idea. I think this idea is really great. I'm just trying to give you an example of what that will look like. There's no real tags I'd like to give, but generally, there we go. And so now that I've posted, you have 30 minutes to edit it, and if you want to make any changes, I think that's a good utilization there. And now that I've posted, and if my other classmates have other ones, they will show up now. So yeah, again, I think that I'd really like to encourage to use YouTube videos. If I wanted to go ahead and edit this, I have this idea, I'd like to edit it. One great thing that you could do is, instead of having words posted here, you could always just have them attach a YouTube link, and they would just add this link right here and enter their YouTube URL right there, and it would bring up their video, and that would be their question or their initial thought or engagement. It says question, but you can really, as a professor, make it anything you'd like that students have to respond to. So that is all for this video today. Thank you for watching, and be sure to subscribe and like the videos if you do, so that we can, of course, better your experience here as a professor. And if you're not from Simpson University, thank you for watching also. I hope this was informative and helpful for your classroom and your future coursework. Thank you.